Walk into literally any coffee shop in America right now, and you're witnessing a real-time masterclass in why some people manage to build wealth while others stay completely trapped. I mean, think about it. Most individuals out there are living paycheck to paycheck, and it's actually not because they don't earn enough money, it's because of these entirely invisible wealth traps that are just hiding in plain sight.
So let me ask you this. Could you survive a $400 emergency? Just out of the blue? When researchers actually surveyed Americans with this exact question, the statistics that came back were honestly terrifying. 1 out of every 3 people simply cannot cover a basic $400 emergency. That is less than what most folks spend on their monthly car payment. Yet it represents a total financial catastrophe for millions of working adults. And here's the really crazy part about this. This isn't just a minimum wage problem. This level of financial fragility spans across all income levels, all educational backgrounds, and all career paths.
Section 1. The Financial Fragility Illusion. Why income doesn't equal wealth.
Now let's dive into Section 2. Invisible Wealth-Destroying Habits. The Psychological Pitfalls Hiding in Plain Sight. Okay, so what makes that earlier statistic so disturbing is that being broke isn't actually about the size of your paycheck. You've probably met people who pull in 6 figures but live in this constant suffocating state of financial stress, right? Meanwhile, you know others with super modest incomes who are perfectly secure. The real difference? It's all about the everyday decisions people make with their money. Most folks are completely unaware of these specific behaviors keeping them stuck. Take driving without a map, for example. If you were planning a cross-country road trip, you wouldn't just jump in your car and start driving randomly hoping you'd eventually hit your destination. No way. Yet this is exactly how people treat their finances. Without a specific financial destination in mind, every single money decision you make is just arbitrary. And that leads to not tracking daily expenses, which creates these mystery leaks where your paycheck basically evaporates. Or you end up living entirely in the present moment, making choices as if your future self just doesn't exist. Let's break down the brutal math on those seemingly tiny daily habits. Say you spend about $250 a month on a daily lunch out. Over a single year, that's $3,000. Over a decade, that's 30 grand. But here's the real kicker. The true hidden cost is the massive compound growth you completely lost by not investing that money. It's a staggering, silent transfer of wealth right out of your pocket and into temporary consumption. And that brings us to a massive psychological pitfall. Every dollar spent on appearances is a dollar not working to generate more wealth. So many people make purchasing decisions based entirely on what other people might think of them. Someone leases a luxury car they can barely afford because they think it projects this image of prosperity. They're playing a high-stakes game of impression management. But it's a massive trap. They get caught in a performance that requires more and more expensive props, while behind the scenes, their actual financial foundation is crumbling. The truly wealthy, they often do the exact opposite.
Moving on to Section 3, the truth about debt. Not all borrowing is created equal.
Listen, misunderstanding how borrowing actually works is one of the ultimate wealth destroyers. We have to clearly draw a line between productive debt and destructive debt. Productive debt is leverage. You use it to acquire assets that generate income or appreciate over time. Think of a mortgage on a rental property, funding high-value education, or starting a business venture. Destructive debt, on the other hand, is money you borrow to buy stuff that loses its value instantly. Racking up credit cards for a vacation, financing giant TVs, or taking out massive loans for luxury cars. All that does is stretch your budget beyond its absolute limits and lock you into ongoing, suffocating stress.
All right, Section 4, redefining risk and income. The danger of playing it too safe.
Let's talk about risk. Risk isn't this scary thing to be avoided at all costs. It's about calculated decisions that offer potential reward while you protect yourself against catastrophic loss. A lot of people are so totally terrified of financial risk that they just park all their money in a basic low-interest savings account. They think, hey, I'm playing it safe. But honestly, avoiding all risk is actually incredibly risky. Why? Because inflation is silently eating away at your purchasing power every single day. Staying financially stagnant while the cost of living skyrockets around you is quite literally one of the biggest risks you could possibly take.
And that ties perfectly into how you actually generate your income. Most broke people look at money in a very linear way. They trade their time for dollars. Period. That's their one and only source of revenue. But wealthy individuals understand that true financial freedom requires breaking that linear exchange. You need passive income from rentals, dividend stocks, or business royalties. You have to build multiple streams of income that are generating revenue for you even while you are fast asleep. Because if you are only ever trading time for money, your financial potential has a hard ceiling on it.
Here's another crazy thing. Most people just completely stop learning about money the second they finish school, assuming they ever learned about it in the first place, right? Treating financial knowledge like it's this static, unchanging thing leaves you so vulnerable. Tax laws evolve constantly, markets shift, and if you're operating on advice from 20 years ago, you are going to get left behind. This lack of ongoing education makes folks prime targets for outdated advice, predatory products, and those ridiculous get-rich-quick schemes. Continuous learning is absolutely mandatory if you want to build real wealth.
Which brings us to Section 5, your wealth building playbook, the escape route to financial freedom.
All right, let's get into the actionable stuff. The pay yourself first principle is a total game changer because it completely flips traditional financial logic upside down. Most people pay everyone else first, bills, groceries, gas, and then they try to save whatever happens to be left over. But let's be real, there's rarely anything left. So change the sequence. When your income arrives, automatically divert funds to your investments and savings before you even see the money. Then you pay your essential bills, and finally, you live creatively on whatever is left over. Flipping this sequence absolutely forces you to live on less than your full income. It completely shuts down lifestyle inflation and makes funding your future a non-negotiable expense.
Taking action is the only way you move forward. So here is your immediate, sustainable game plan. Step 1. Define a highly specific, time-bound target. Don't just vaguely say, I want to save money. Say, I will completely clear my credit cards in 24 months. Step 2. Build a starter emergency fund. If you don't have that $400 we talked about earlier, start with just $50 a paycheck. Getting that buffer breaks the vicious cycle of going into debt every single time you get a flat tire. Step 3. Track absolutely every dollar you spend for 30 days straight. I guarantee you will be shocked at the leaks you find. And Step 4. Attack that high-interest destructive debt mathematically and aggressively.
Now, as you start rolling out that plan, this single question is going to become your most powerful filter. Ask yourself, does this impulse purchase move me closer to or further from my financial target? When you have those crystal clear, time-bound goals we just talked about, this question instantly stops you from making those wealth-destroying choices. And the best part? It doesn't feel like deprivation, because you aren't just saying no to a purchase, you are actively choosing your ultimate goal over a temporary distraction.
We're going to wrap up this explainer with a thought that is absolutely crucial to remember. Your financial future isn't determined by your past mistakes. It is entirely determined by the decisions you make starting today. The math proves that these principles work. The real question is, now that you can clearly see the invisible traps that have been keeping you broke, what are you going to do tomorrow to finally break free?